That is Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. So, of course, this weekend, it was the 25th anniversary of Rodney King and the riots that subsequently resulted in that. That was a black man being brutalized by police officers on tape, and a jury subsequently finding that those actions legal. But at the same time that was happening, a young man named Jordan Edwards at a party in Texas with his brothers, a suburb outside of Dallas, was shot by a police officer, and the police officer made a statement, and he said that the car was coming at him, and so he fired a long gun, as opposed to a service revolver. He fired a long gun, killing Jordan Edwards instantly. The police chief came out and defended him, and said, you know, that the car was in fact backing into him, or that was being aggressive. He watched the tape and found out that wasn't true. That officer that killed Jordan Edwards has been fired. The question I want to know is, why didn't the police chief look at the video before he ever made a statement? We have watched Alton Sterner get killed on tape. We saw that. We have watched, and a jury tell us subsequently that there's nothing, the federal jury at this point tell us there's nothing to be seen. We watched Walter Scott get killed on tape, and a jury could not decide that the officer who did it was guilty while that man was running away. We saw it. We saw Eric Garner be choked in front of our very eyes after uttering the phrase, "I can't breathe." We have watched time and time again black people or brown people being brutalized or killed right before our very eyes, and we see things differently. Walter Scott, the killer of Walter Scott, the South Carolina police officer who killed Walter Scott, pled guilty to violation of his civil rights. Isn't it ironic that he saw his guilt, but a jury watching that video could not? Here is the problem. The problem in America is we know that there's a problem with the way that some people are policed. But if you can't look at a tape or video and see wrongdoing, whereas I can, how can we ever get further? If you don't believe what you're seeing, you see the same tape, you know something's wrong. If you don't believe what you're seeing, there's a problem. If you don't believe what you see, how can you believe what I say? If you don't believe your own eyes, how can you believe my words? You refuse to see what you know you did. We have to decide what we want to be. The only way that things like this can continue to happen, watching these young men, and accountability is apparently only for young black people who are killed by the police. The worst thing that ever happened to bad police officers was video camcorders, because video cams, because that is the worst thing that happened to them since Miranda rights. If you don't trust your eyes, you'll never trust my words. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming back in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.